Hey, everybody, welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of our new podcast series, Getting to Know Your Local RSM. And today I'll have Mchael Dixon, who is the Midwest Central area. We'll be discussing what things are going on in his area and what you can expect from Mike in the near future. And so I'll cut here and let's get to our podcast.
ISC East approaches, I have the pleasure of having Mchael Dixon here, who's been in the business a long time. Thanks for joining me, Mike. It's always great talking to you. You've been awesome to work with.
And stadium venues. Did massive projects with those involving access control and video, and would love the opportunity to talk again.
What are you seeing a lot in your neck of the woods these days with as far as security? Like, well, I guess the question I should be asking is, what are people not liking right now with the current access control out there? Are you seeing anything that are people complaining about? Maybe kind of like the SSA agreements that are happening right now. And can you maybe talk about how you can leverage that in your territory and how that might work better for you and your
There's a lot
dealers?
of there's a lot of competition out there in terms of manufacturer, and there's a lot of ones that are, predominant in my marketplace, and I respect that completely. However, I think you nailed it. The long-term contracts, the service agreements are just getting out of control from the end user standpoint. Case in point, a small school that I did recently, they had the money this year, in cap, and they just don't have the reoccurring fees coming in to pay for the upgrades and the amenities that they need to keep that system up and going. That's probably one of the bigger things is the reoccurring monthly fees and yearly fees. I wouldn't call it a hostage. I just think that a lot of times these customers do not know what they're really getting into a final investment, and I think that really separates us from the competition.
So with CA4K, I mean the best thing is we're selling hardware, right? And we don't have recurring SSA agreements, right? So once you buy the software, it's supported unless they want to add on certain features on that. But talking to that point, you also provide a cloud and a hybrid solution. Do you want to maybe touch point on maybe the two things that you're seeing out there with cloud and how that's helping where maybe people don't want to pay a recurring revenue on cloud and what that product that you're working with is?
I would say I'm very excited about the cloud MVP. The platform itself, it's simple. I don't want to undermine it, but it's pretty much click and go. From a storage level, if I have a school or a core commercial user that basically is in a situation where they have to replace a server, I could do an ROI on that very quickly and show them, hey, this is a long-term investment, but this is a great solution for you. Or in some of the data rooms and banks that I deal with today, they need that secondary, that backup system. And I think that plays very prevalent as well in the industry. Getting back to the other question, um, having a system that is soup to nuts in terms of, readers, the controllers, and now we've introduced another amenity, which is BAS IP on the intercom system. All that integrating into one system, easy from an app or from your PC. I think that's the way a lot of these customers are going.
Well, what's really cool is, some of the products that you showed me is that, the new Napco Access or the CAE Access, where it's a hybrid solution where if the customer doesn't have it in their budget, they can buy the hardware where it's a web GUI, and they can pay a one-time fee. So they have their panel on the cloud. They only have to pay a one-time fee. So if there's not a lot of money there for them, but they still want a access control system, but they want a web interface, that's also a great solution too, right? I mean, being able to have that hybrid system as well. So being able to go from a enterprise server platform to a cloud platform using the same hardware is huge too, right? Because as the dealers are buying equipment from us, they can use the same hardware um, and the same inventory to either go cloud or server based, which I also think is huge. I think you were talking about in your market as well.
I
So
agree with you. I think having a broad product line, and we haven't even talked about, the locks, alarm lock marks,
yeah,
and
well,
all the other ones. But having a broad product line with one PO, I think that helps out a lot. Plus, the company itself, we're working internally within the different, departments of the company and make that a really seamless fit. But also, we're always advancing. I don't know the number for R&D spend, but I know it's large. We're always reinvesting into the company that's getting us onto the next edge, but we're not putting you in a closed corner. You can always move forward. I have panels out there today that are 15, 20 years old, and we can communicate to those panels. It's kind of a good news, bad news situation. A lot of these panels are out there for a long period of time, which tells a lot about the integrity of the company and the reliability factor. And so I think that that's something to keep in mind as well.
Well, and you've done a great job trying to keep your dealers educated. And you want to maybe talk about a little bit, maybe about as far as when they get, if you got some new dealers out there, on maybe how that process would work if they want to talk to you about becoming a Continental dealer, maybe what you're looking for.
Yeah, I've always respected the channel. I think that having more dealers isn't necessarily the right answer. It's really having the right dealers. I have a lot of legacy dealers that, quite honestly, they're doing such a great job in that market space. So I'm good there. However, the ones that are struggling a little bit, I think it's about education. As a company, I think we do a very good job with available information and certification classes that keep these guys, up to speed. And we have to constantly, recreate that in a fashionable way where they're not stuck in a class for 7 days. I mean, this certification process that we have, I believe it's about 2.5 days, which I think is an incredible investment. And it just makes you know the product and keeps you up tech support, of which I will say, I know I sound like a broken record, our tech support is second to none.
Yeah, no, definitely. Is there anything else that you might want to add to the podcast that
No.
besides coming and seeing you at ISC West, and maybe you can buy them a beer or a water, or for my friends here in Utah, a root beer?
A root beer. Once again, we'll have an incredible booth right when you walk into the entranceway. I'll be there nonstop. If you want an advance appointment, just give me a shout. It's mdixon@napcosecurity.com. If you're an end user that's looking at this, feel free to give me a shout. We have booth tours, but if you need some time to sit down with upper level management, I can definitely take care of that for you. And definitely come by for a beer in the after hours. That's what we're all about as well. So,
And Mike, I'll also provide your information at the end of the podcast and all of that.
Great.
But I appreciate your time, Mike. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Look forward to seeing you at ISC West and our upcoming trainings. We always have a good time in the
Thank you again for your time. I always appreciate you watching my videos here on LinkedIn and or the Napco channel. So please feel free to come and see us this year at ISC West. We're at booth 12031. I'd love to see how our team can help you with all your solutions, and I hope you have a great day. Again, thanks for joining us.